I'd like to begin by telling you a dream. I know some of you don't like to hear other people's dreams. You think they're too long, you don't understand them, but I am going to tell you this one anyway, because it illustrates something that I believe will change your view of the time you spend asleep and dreaming. Let me set the scene. First of all, I didn't just have this dream. I asked for it. Before bed, I intentionally prayed for a dream that would show me bliss. That's because I wasn't experiencing much bliss in my life at this time. My marriage had ended, I had just lost my job, and my teenage daughter was testing her wings and therefore my patience. Here's what I dreamed. I entered my daughter's bedroom. I am carrying a big basket of dirty laundry. My daughter's bedroom looks just as it would in waking life, as if a bomb had gone off in it. Not my idea of bliss so far. But then, as I stood there and looked across the room, I could see a little blue light glowing on the bureau in the corner. And as I peered at that light, it began to glow brighter and grow bigger. And more colored lights joined in. Yellows, purples, golds, like the colors of a peacock's tail. And then everything in the dream began to dissolve. The laundry basket, the bureau, even the room itself, until all I was left with was the feeling that those beautiful colors gave me, as if I could sense their beauty from the inside out. It was as if I were floating on a wave of divine love, ecstasy, or bliss. Sadly, most of us aren't having dreams like that most of the time. If we were, I wouldn't be standing here today, because you wouldn't need me. You wouldn't need anybody to tell you about the value of sleep and dreams. Instead, despite everything we know about the benefits of sleep and dreams to our health and happiness, we're going to bed too late, exhausted, or we're nodding off in front of the TV before we even get there. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention tell us that our problem with sleeplessness has reached epidemic proportions. And the Better Sleep Council says that more than half of Americans say they would prefer to sleep more than have sex. They tell us the problem is because we're overscheduled, too busy, too attached to our phones and laptops. But that's not what I think. I think we are resisting and avoiding bedtime for the very same reason any 6-year-old avoids theirs. We are afraid of the dark. I'm not talking about the dark of turning out the lights. I'm talking about the darkness behind our closed eyes. I'm talking of the darkness of the uncomfortable thoughts and feelings rattling around in our subconscious. I think we're afraid of our dreaming mind too, and what that represents about our unresolved and unexamined issues. I also believe that dreams themselves can help us get back on the road, not only to sleeping better, but to falling back in love with the night and sleep. When I meet a new acquaintance, they will often tell me that they don't like their dreams, right? I tell them, oh, I work with dreams professionally, and they reply with an uncomfortable laugh. They say, dreams, they're too confusing, they're disturbing, they're scary. Why would I want to remember those, right? Now, at first, I could not understand this attitude. I have been talking about, remembering, celebrating my dreams since I was a little girl of 4 or 5. My dreams have acted like the ideal therapist, my life coach, my guru, my best friend. They've even been like a real estate agent, helping me find the perfect place to live, and a matchmaker, helping me find true love. But I get that this isn't everybody's view. After all, sleep and dreaming involves getting still and quiet in the dark. And as denizens of a hyper-connected culture, we don't like that. We like to be on the go and in control. So we're still and quiet in the dark, and our sleeping and dreaming brain chemistry kicks in. And that means our senses are muted, our body temporarily paralyzed, and our brain is as active or more so than it is awake. Into this brew come the dreams. Meanwhile, our minds, our brains are low on mood-boosting neurotransmitters like serotonin. While we are free of the distraction of external stimuli, we're left alone, as I mentioned before, with the contents of our subconscious minds. That could be our regrets, our resentments, our losses, our griefs, things we haven't yet tended to. Since we don't have our full reserves of serotonin, in fact, we have very little, negative emotions outweigh positive ones in most people's dreams. And then there are nightmares. Though they only account for about 5 to 6% of all dreams, they can be so scary, some people, consciously or not, avoid sleep altogether just so they don't have any more of those. Which is a shame, because we have to sleep to dream. And the more we sleep, the better chance we have of having memorable and potentially meaningful dreams. That's because as we sleep, our REM periods get longer and longer as the night progresses, so that some 6 or 7 hours into the night, we have our longest REM period, and that's where most of the vivid dreams take place. Now, if we learn to become literate in these dreams and understand their language, we become better for it. We get in touch with the untapped reserves of creativity, wisdom, and guidance. But unfortunately, most of these dreams are being washed away in the shower before we even get to the breakfast table. For the most part, although everybody dreams several times each night, in fact, we're only remembering a small fraction of them. Maybe 2 or 3 dreams a week on average when we're having between 21 and 35. And we rarely talk about the dreams we do remember, or at least talk openly about them. I'd say we're less likely to talk openly about our dreams than we are to talk openly about money or sex. Which strikes me as strange, because dreams are a natural byproduct and a healthy byproduct of sleep. Scientists haven't come to consensus yet on exactly why we dream, but there are many proven benefits. For example, dreams help us process things like grief, life transitions, and relationship issues, as well as, or better than, traditional talk therapy in most cases. Because the dreaming mind is adept at random associations, bringing together seemingly surprising people, events, and places from our lives, they help us with problem solving, getting new perspective on stubborn problems that have been vexing us, and even making way for epiphany, inspiration. You might also look at your dream as a night janitor, disposing of unnecessary memories, or a librarian on the night shift who's consolidating our memories to make room for more of them. In some cases, as with nightmare sufferers, doing dream work with a trained professional can even help them heal those nightmares. So they can also heal their insomnia. So they can actually help us sleep better. Dreams have also been the source of countless inventions, discoveries, and creative breakthroughs. Everything from the electric sewing machine, to the periodic table, to the Beatles' classic Yesterday. Most importantly, dreams can help us to experience life in a more pleasurable, fun, and exciting way. So what are we doing to get more sleep so we can dream? We're Americans. We're popping pills. In fact, we're spending some $41 billion on sleep medications and aids each year. And what does that buy us? About 11 to 20 minutes more sleep each night, which might be okay, except a Gallup poll tells us that what most people need is another hour or more. The medications don't have the best track record, but there's something that does. Studies have proven time and again that the most effective remedy for our sleep woes is sleep hygiene. It's not quite as sexy as something you might wish for, but it means making better bedtime habits. You know it, you've read about it. Clearing the bedroom of distractions, getting to bed at about the same time each night, winding down in the evening with a book or a bath. All those different things are more effective than the medication. But we're still not doing it, which makes me think we must be more frightened of the darkness and surrendering to our subconscious than we are of the consequences. We say we're too busy. That's why we don't get enough sleep. We can't even accomplish everything on our to-do list, let alone put aside 7 or 8 hours to sleep. Which sounds plausible until you consider that productivity actually decreases when you sleep less. Then we say, well, I want to wring more experiences out of every day, and I want to have more and better days. I don't have time for sleep. I can rest forever once I'm dead. That doesn't work either, because we all know that sleep is one of the best things we can do for our health. And what better way than to be healthy? We know that none of this makes sense, but it's bigger than just the individual. This is a collective problem. We've banished darkness from our worlds, in our homes. Every room is lit up. We've got lights pulsing, flashing everywhere. Step outside. Our neighborhoods and our cities are lit up, so we can barely see the stars anymore. Not only that, thanks to electricity and electronics, we can dine, work, socialize all day long and into the night. This problem is well known, and we keep hearing the consequences in terms of risk to our health, right? Everything from Alzheimer's disease to diabetes to depression to heart conditions are exacerbated when we don't get enough sleep. But there's something we're not talking about. We're not talking about the fact that we forfeit an invitation when we lose out on sleep. We forfeit the gifts of the darkness. We forfeit the opportunity to slow down, get cozy, and turn inward in the night. We lose the chance to commune with our dreams. So let me show you what just a little bit of dream work can offer us. We'll go back to that dream of bliss I talked about earlier. Now, if I just had that dream and not reflected on it, it would have been a fabulous experience, but an isolated one. Instead, I knew to turn toward that dream and that every part of it had some significance. For example, I had to wonder why my dream of bliss took place not on some white sand beach in the Caribbean, but in the darkest, farthest corner, in the messiest, most chaotic room of my house, my daughter's room. Now, I'd mentioned that my daughter had been testing my patience at the time. That was an understatement. She was pushing me away, but hard, with her angry outbursts and her rebellious behaviors. And for my part, I was starting to erect a wall inside me to protect myself from that pain. But that dream showed me I needed to step into that difficult terrain if I wanted to find true bliss. In order to be the mother I wanted to be, and the mother I know my daughter needed me to be, I had to risk vulnerability and more hurt and step toward her and do the work that needed to be done. In the end, the young woman my daughter's grown up to be and the relationship we have together are among my proudest accomplishments. And I've been able to use that dream and the memorable and profound lessons I learned from it to help other people to work through their dark passages. So to get there, we should take a mindful approach to sleep and dreams. Set an intention at night, an intention to have good dreams, sweet sleep, and to remember your dreams. Meditating for even a short period of time, sometime between dinner and bedtime, will help you sleep better and get more comfortable with the stillness and darkness inside you. Thinking positive thoughts in the evening has been proven to help with sleep, so make a gratitude list. Say a prayer or an inspiring poem before bed, and if you wake up during the night, and even if you don't remember your dreams, be aware that you're having them. Keep a pen and paper by the side of your bed, write down your dreams if you remember one, and be willing to reflect on them. So I still marvel at my bliss dream. It acts as a touchstone for me, and I hope that will also be a reminder to you of what is possible when we turn toward the night, when we welcome and befriend all of our dreams, the difficult and disturbing ones, the bright and beautiful ones. And if we do, our dreams can lead us to lives richer in connection, meaning, purpose, and joy. May you all sleep, dream, and be well. Thank you.